You're watching Sunrise on KYMA News 11, where news comes first.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, October 30th, 2018. I'm Ivany Villalobos.
And I'm Lee Keller. Thanks for joining us on Sunrise this morning. Here's a look at what's ahead at 6. So more troops at the border. The Pentagon announcing thousands of troops will be sent south to our border, all in an effort to stop the migrant caravan. How many troops are expected to be deployed, and are any of them coming to our area? We'll answer that question coming up.
Then Monday, we saw Martha McSally turn in her own ballot while Kirsten Sinema continued to campaign, where both U.S. Senate candidates stand in recent polls. We'll have the details ahead.
Yeah, also on Sunrise, have questions about your students' school safety at school.
Well, we'll tell you where you can have those questions answered when News 11's Ariana Shell brings us that report straight ahead.
Yeah, so we certainly have a lot to get to in just a bit, but of course, we're going to check in with Ivany right now to see what our weather's like.
All right, so nice and cool for us this morning. Let's go outside and take a look at that RV World June sky cam to start off your Tuesday morning. So right now the sun is expected to rise at around 6:48 later this morning. But onto our current temperatures for us here in the desert Southwest. We are starting with the temperatures nice and cool. You might need a light jacket. It's going to be a breezy day for us. We're seeing the temperatures in the upper 60s in Yuma at 66. We're looking at the lower 60s in YPG area at 60, 61 for Imperial, 65 in Blythe, and even cooler for our friends in El Centro at 58 degrees. But as far as today's highs, we're going to see the temperatures in the upper 80s. So we're seeing a break from the 90s, and again 80s week is what I said yesterday, and we will continue with that trend ahead of the week.
All right, so we do want to get to those headlines right now. Breaking news coming into our newsroom. President Donald Trump says he plans to end the constitutional right to citizenship for babies of non-citizens born in the U.S.
Yeah, the president made the comments on HBO. He's making a renewed push for hard-line immigration policies before next week's midterm elections. Now, the GOP believes an immigration focus will energize his supporters and help keep Republicans in control of Congress. Taking away the birthright citizenship would spark a court fight over the president's ability to change an amendment to the Constitution.
Yeah, that's right. Right now, the 14th Amendment guarantees a right to children born in the U.S. to receive citizenship. He's expected to sign an executive order, and White House lawyers are reviewing that proposal, but we don't know how quickly he's expected to sign that executive order, so stay updated on this story by visiting our website at kyma.com throughout the day. And we do have developing news also this morning. More than 5,200 additional troops are preparing to head to the U.S.-Mexico border to keep thousands of migrants from entering the country.
Yeah, the Pentagon announced Monday the troops will join more than 2,000 troops already at the border as Operation Faithful Patriot. Now, the caravan made up of thousands of Central American migrants is heading through Mexico on foot towards the U.S. border. Now, in a tweet, President Trump called the caravan an invasion and said it includes gang members and, quote, very bad people.
He also said terrorists were among the crowd making their way to the U.S., but later said he had no proof of that statement. Pentagon officials say the troops will include a mix of armed and unarmed active duty, reserve, and National Guard troops.
The president of Mexico has offered very generously protections, employment authorization, shelter, and status to this group in Mexico. So if you're really seeking asylum, you've reached a safe place and you've been given a generous offer by the first country that you've crossed into from Central America.
Well, right now it's unclear how many of those troops will be stationed at the Yuma and El Centro sector. The current plan is to send the additional active duty troops to Brownsville, Texas, Nogales, Arizona, and likely near San Diego, California.
Well, in your crime alert news this morning, 6:04 is your time. It was a violent day Monday for officers in the Phoenix area with a pair of officer-involved shootings that left a total of 2 suspects dead and 5 officers injured.
Yeah, it all started Monday afternoon in Tempe when police say 2 officers were serving an order of protection on a domestic violence call. Police say that when the officers asked the suspect to show his hands, he opened fire. Both officers were hospitalized, but their injuries appeared non-life-threatening.
The suspect was shot and killed, but it is not clear if the suspect died in the gunfire or if he died of a self-inflicted injury. Later in the day, a separate shooting left 3 officers injured and another suspect dead. The shooting happened after the suspect's pickup truck spun out during a highway pursuit. Police said the suspect then exchanged gunfire with officers and was declared deceased at the scene. Police said 3 DPS troopers sustained non-life-threatening injuries that were not from gunshots. 6:05 is your time. Yuma Sector Border Patrol agents arrested a United States citizen after he's suspected of smuggling 3 undocumented immigrants. Now, it happened around the Interstate 8 immigration checkpoint near the Welton station. Border agents stopped a 30-year-old man from Yuma after he tried to avoid the checkpoint. Now, after a search, Border Patrol says there were 3 Mexican nationals in the car who were illegally in the U.S. One of the immigrants had been previously removed from the U.S. for a felony conviction of forgery in the state of Iowa. Now, they all range in age from 19 to 35 years old. They'll be facing immigration violations.
Congresswoman and Democratic candidate for U.S. Senate Kyrsten Sinema was in Flagstaff Monday after kicking off her health care tour in Yuma. Sinema is advocating to protect residents with pre-existing conditions, Social Security, and Medicare benefits. She's also meeting with small business owners to talk about jobs.
And her opponent, Republican candidate Martha McSally, officially placed her vote for the upcoming midterm election. She voted early in Pima County and even had her dog Boomer carry the ballot to the door of the recorder's office. McSally then met with voters and supporters who cheered her on.
Now, we are a week away now from the midterm elections, and another big name is coming to Arizona to throw their support behind U.S. Senate candidate Martha McSally. Now, Donald Trump Jr. will be in Phoenix Thursday to rally support for her Senate run against Democratic candidate Kyrsten Sinema. Politico says he will attend 3 events, and his visit comes after both President Donald Trump and Vice President Mike Pence brought their star power to Arizona to stump for McSally.
Well, we told you about a CBS poll yesterday that showed Democratic candidate Kyrsten Sinema in the lead for U.S. Senate, with Republican candidate Martha McSally trailing behind. Well, this morning, a new NBC Marist poll shows Sinema holding a 6-point lead over McSally. Sinema leads with 50%, while McSally is seeing a 44% of a likely vote. But 6% say they are still undecided or prefer another candidate. NBC says Sinema's vote is fueled by Latinos, independents, and women voters, while McSally is seeing major support from men and white voters. That poll was conducted from October 23rd to the 27th.
The same poll also highlights the race for governor. While Republicans are trailing in Arizona's Senate contest, they're leading in the governor's race by double digits. Incumbent Republican Doug Ducey is seeing a 13-point lead over Democratic challenger David Garcia. The NBC Marist poll shows Ducey receiving 55% of the vote, while Garcia gets 42%.
Well, new this morning, with all the recent school shooting threats in our area, several parents are wanting more information on what signs to look out for to keep their kids safe.
News 11's Ariana Shell joins us live in the studio with one event happening tonight that'll help answer those questions. Ariana.
Good morning, Blake and Ivney. Now, have you ever had questions about how to understand your student in a critical time of their life? In a time where their self-image is born or made, teaching your student about mental health is important. Here's more on one event that will help with that.
Tonight from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., members of the community will gather in Kofa High School's auditorium. There, the first community conversations event of the school year will begin.
We're going to have an expert in mental health as well as threat assessment and school safety.
Backed by popular demand, this event will be the 3rd in its series. This specific session will regard school safety and mental health.
I think the most important thing is that parents or members of the community in general, even if they don't have kids, can all be a part in helping identify threats, identify concerns, and act on that. And I think that helps solve the problem. I think the more awareness that we have, the easier it will be to solve the problem and the ultimate goal, have safer schools.
Forensic psychologist and school safety expert Dr. Joel DeVoskin will provide a presentation about rising concerns within our schools.
Well, he's a forensic psychologist, number one, so he's been brought in into courtrooms and things like that to testify as an expert witness in cases. He's been involved in working with school districts for several decades. And so not just as a mental health expert, but he's also someone who's become an expert over the years on threat assessment in not just school settings, but other settings involving law enforcement and the military as well.
After the keynote session, parents will have the opportunity to bring up any questions. Patton says that no topic is off the table.
Some of those questions, I think, in a broader sense, could be what's the best practices for social media in the event of emergency?
Parents throughout the Yuma community are encouraged to attend, even if your student is in elementary or middle school.
For more information on this event, visit our website at kyma.com. Reporting live in the studio, I'm Ariana Schell, News 11. Back to you, Blake and Ivney.
All right, Ariana, thanks so much for that. Very important, so keep up a lookout for that. Well, here are new job opportunities coming out of San Luis. Shea Oil, who has been in Arizona since 1961, will be opening a new location in our border town, so that's something to look out for as well. 15 jobs are up for grabs. Nearly 5,400 square feet will be dedicated to a convenience store, while 6,400 square feet will have 16 self-serving gas pumps. It will be located on North Main Street. It's expected to be complete this coming April, so information on where to apply will be released closer to the completion of the project. And of course, Halloween is just a day away, and we are holding our annual Halloween costume contest again this year right here on Sunrise.
Yeah, it's simple. All you have to do is show up in your costume here at our studios at 6 a.m. for your chance to win prizes sponsored by our very own local businesses.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Looking forward to that. All right. Well, have you entered for Firehouse Fridays? Each Friday during this show, we will announce a winner of a Firehouse Subs catering platter. Now, all you have to do to win is enter at kyma.com.
Yeah, we're giving away lots of stuff here on Sunrise, so you definitely want to tune in.
It's the time of giving.
Yes, exactly.
As we get closer to Thanksgiving, right?
And the holidays.
And the holidays.
The midterm elections are 1 week away. I'm Susan McGinnis in Washington. Coming up, from domestic terror attacks to a migrant caravan, what voters will consider.
And in your News 11 Healthline report, millions are dying annually from air pollution. So next, we'll explain those who are greatly affected by the poisonous air. That's still to come.
And also on Sunrise, we're taking a look at your weather forecast. Nice warm temperatures expected, but there's an area that is expecting some rain. We'll get into the details right after the break. Don't go anywhere.